It's been some time since Bungie shadow dropped an exotic mission, except we kind of already knew about it, but only if you knew where to look. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool. At least, so far. Reminder that you need to own Season of Defiance to get this, but not Lightfall. Alright, let's get into it. To start the quest to obtain Vexcaliber, head to the Gulch in the EDZ. I'm not sure if you need to be caught up with the weekly seasonal story to begin, but I would potentially try catching up just to be safe. There are 6 little Vex nodes spread across the area. When you touch one, you get an access code buff that lasts for 30 seconds. Your goal is to collect each of these before the timer runs out, and each time you collect one, the timer is refreshed. As far as I'm aware, the order you collect them in does not matter, but you can follow the path we used if you run into any problems. Strand Grapple or an Eager Edge Sword makes it even easier than it already is. To start, spawn in the Gulch and head over to these broken trees, and follow the route from here. After you have collected all of these, your buff will become a simulated cave access code. Head up the broken bridge onto a back road to find an entrance to a cave. Upon entering, you'll receive dialogue from Mithrax asking you to investigate some Vex conflux activity nearby. Once you stumble upon the friendly harpy inside, interact with it. Welcome to Avalon, or Override Avalon if you want to call it that, the exotic mission for Season of Defiance. If you want to do this mission blind, which I always recommend, stop watching and come back later. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you the basics so you can complete the mission, as you'll be coming back later. Follow the path forward until you reach a pit to jump in. Doing so will take you through a portal to the first major encounter. Here, you are tasked with entering access codes to proceed through the network. There will be a lot of enemies, so if you're underleveled or playing solo, adjust your builds accordingly. On normal mode, you'll probably be fine to use whatever you want, but on Legend, it will kick your teeth in. At least at our current level, it did to us. Wells, bubbles, strand, stasis, anything for survivability and crowd control is a must. As for the actual mechanic, each area will have a conflux that periodically spawns 3 oracles. A triangle, a box, and a diamond. The triangular one is immune for now, so ignore it. You will have to shoot them in the correct order. To start, your first set of codes is directly to the right of the conflux. Reading it from top to bottom, that is the order you will have to shoot the oracles. If you shoot the wrong one, your code will be denied and it will start over, and the code will randomly change. So for example, our first code was box, diamond, box. Remember, it's from top to bottom. After you enter the first code, a new sequence will spawn in another location, as well as a third location after that, with more and more oracles to shoot. The second sequence in the first room is located to the left, on the back of a pillar next to the Vex portal. And the third sequence of this room is located to the right behind the Vex portal alongside another pillar. Complete these 3 sequences and the next room will open up. However, you are not out of the darkness zone yet. There will be a lot of enemies ahead and you will have 3 more access codes to enter. To start, watch out for Cyclopses and hordes of Minotaurs and other Vex that spawn. Hobgoblins can also be a major pain point. Kill everything as you need to because you aren't on a time limit. This is the exact same procedure as last time, so I'm just going to show you the sequence locations again. The first one is located at the far side of the room on the left wall, between 2 platforms that hobgoblins like to spawn on. The second sequence can be found at the back right of the room, floating between the Vex portal and the ramp on the floor. And the final sequence is nearby on the exact opposite side of the ramp as the last, floating near the floor. After you've completed these, push on and fight your way through the next room and mine the boss wyverns. Doing so will complete the encounter. Continue platforming through the Vex network and you will come across some Vex data projections of Asher Mirror. Again, the platforming is very linear and straightforward, so I'm not going to show it all. Just keep pushing forward. I believe in you. Upon reaching your next rally flag point in Vex Gravity Lift, you will be greeted with the second encounter. This one on normal isn't that bad, but there's enemies everywhere and not a lot of cover, as well as a new mechanic. You must now gather data from corrupted Vex and deposit them into a central conflux. The catch is that you're on a time limit. and once the timer's up, the Vex network will completely delete your fire team. As for how you do that, it's pretty simple. There are different corrupted goblins and Vex that spawn in the arena. Killing them will drop pink data motes that you can then bank. So basically, we're playing Vex Gambit. Once you dunk enough data, the hole in the middle of the room will open up and you can use it to take cover when the Vex network tries to delete you. Be careful though, because Vex will continue to spawn and try shooting you in the hole. When the time expires, the hole will close up, killing all the Vex outside, and you will be dropped into a portal below that will put you back into the room. Complete this one more time, which requires more data, and the Hydra boss floating in the back of the room will come down. Deal enough damage to his health and he'll teleport away, prompting you to repeat the data process 2 more times, but with more data dunks. Do this until you are able to kill the boss. Congratulations, you still aren't done yet. Keep moving forward. Once you've fulfilled your platforming quota for the month, enter the Node Core, leading to the final boss encounter. If you're a D2 veteran, you might recognize the location as well as the boss itself from the Pyramidion Strike, or at least a version of it. Brachion's fight is pretty straightforward, at least on normal. Deal enough damage to make him teleport up a floor and follow him through the portal. Once you go through, it's time to enter another access code. As far as I'm aware, the code can spawn in 2 places. However, I've only played this mission to completion twice so far, so if you don't see it, just look around the room. The first potential spot is at the back left of the room in a hole in the floor, a triangular hole to be exact. The second is in the same place but on the right side of the room. Once again, damage him until he leaves and follow after him. On the 3rd floor, there's no mechanic here, just kill the boss and mine the ads. Once he's dead, congratulations, you almost have Vexcalibur in your hands this time. Head back to the war table at the helm to acquire it. And here it is. As for what it does, it's a pretty simple glaive. Its ranged attack fires a spread, the same one that wyverns have actually. Blocking damage with the shield will grant you and nearby allies a void overshield. Additionally, you deal bonus melee damage while you have an overshield, and melee kills with the glaive will refresh the overshield's timer. This thing, at least for right now, feels really freaking good, and it's only going to get better. Vexcalibur is technically a crafted weapon. You can immediately draw out the deep sight on it, and as we continue through the season, you'll be able to unlock new catalysts and apply different mods to it, just like Revision Zero last season. But how do we do that? Well, as you grabbed Vexcalibur, you will also be given a legendary quest to get Vex kills with the glaive. One of my friends mentioned something about melee kills not working and needing to use the projectile for this part. I have no idea if this is true because I didn't check, but that's something to keep in mind. To easily do this, I would suggest going to Nessus, and in the middle of the map, heading to the Quarry Lost Sector. I believe it's at the Artifact's Edge fast travel point. After you complete this step, you will be given a mod that you can now slot into Vexcalibur. This mod will allow you to pass through Vex access shields inside the Avalon mission you couldn't previously, and that's where the current secrets come into play. As far as I'm aware, there's only a limited number of secrets currently accessible inside the mission, or at least we could only find some. To start, go back into the mission, which you can relaunch from the EDZ map, and when you get to the first main room here, look to the left wall and jump up. Then, turn around and jump across. There's a button here you can activate. Move on to the next room and go left, but before going down the main path and into the hole in the wall, look up and jump up to a platform. There's a Vex wall in the way. With Vexcalibur equipped, hold the block button and walk through. You can use Vexcalibur to go through any of these purple tinted Vex walls. Activating the button here will spawn a chest that will drop the M1R Distribution Matrix 2. In the Triumphs, it's referred to as accessing the hidden substrate data. Basically, this drop allows you to craft more perks on Vexcalibur at the Enclave. There should be more required in this mission in the coming weeks, or however else they want to give it to us. And that's about all we could find for right now. There may be more secrets available that we couldn't find, but I wouldn't be surprised if some or all of them were time-gated, or they may not even be in the mission and other places in the overworld instead. We tried the mission on Legend, but we got our shit kicked in during the second encounter, and decided to try again later. There were enemies everywhere and they hit like a truck. Also, there seemed to be a weird bug on Legend where sometimes we would have infinite revive tokens and it wouldn't take it away from us, and sometimes it would take them away, and just, it was really inconsistent. I have no idea what was up with that. For the Triumphs, there's a few things it looks like we'll be able to earn in the future. To start, there's this Vex Ghost Shell themed after the data network that you get for collecting all 3 catalysts, and an emblem for completing all the Avalon quests, something called Firmware Update, and accessing all 7 hidden data. But that's all I really got for today. If you liked the video or found the guide helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I know there's a lot of guides out there, and, you know, if you enjoyed mine, I appreciate it. I've also got a Twitter that I've been trying to use more, if you'd like to keep up with me there. But with that being said, my name is Yami, and I will see you beautiful people next time.